Hey guys, what's going on? I just want to introduce you to this week's reading focus. We are moving away from the hero's journey for a little bit, and we'll circle back to it throughout the year. But right now, we want to shift our attention on scenes, and we started to figure out, well, what makes a good scene? What is a scene? Now it's time as a reader to analyze a scene, and this helps us as writers as well. So what we're going to do this week is you're going to pick three scenes. If you read the way you're supposed to be reading, you'll have many different choices, but you're only going to pick three. So it's going to be one scene per page. You're going to use this emotions handout, which is not really a handout, it's on the slideshow, to analyze the emotional movement in your main character in a scene. You want to be on the lookout for shifts and changes in character emotion, especially in terms of positive and negative emotions. And you can even illustrate it if you can, and I'll show you an example of that. And we definitely want to take note of, does the scene begin on an emotional high or low, a positive or negative? And then where does the scene end up? Does it end up in the same place, different place? And here we go. And then, this is a side note too, is even to get into the highest level of thinking, which would be to critique the scene and say, this was a really good scene in the book, or this was a really boring scene. So this I showed you after the Hey Google horror short, and we can use positives and negatives. This may help you. You can do this sort of thing as you're doing your analysis. It's kind of fun actually to visually graph your character's emotion. This was the example I showed you from Hey Google. And this is a new document I want you to use for this week, because a lot of students struggle to articulate what it is exactly your character is going through. It's not always just anger, fear, happy, sad, right? There's all sorts of different emotions. And this one I found really useful as a tool. You could also use the mood meter if you found that helpful in figuring out the emotions that you're feeling. We can do the same thing and analyze the character. So it's all in here. Here's an example. This is from the book Fahrenheit 451. I wrote this. This will give you a sense of how to do this. And you can see already, you see all the red there? I just don't know how to analyze anything without getting really, really specific and detailed with quotes. You don't have to have that many. I'm just going to read a part of this to you so you can see how I began this. In this scene, Montag, he's the main character, is described as grinning the fierce grin of all men. For him, this scene starts on an emotional positive. He's content with his life. As he walks down the street to head towards home, he's described as whistling. We whistle when we're happy. This is his normal state of being, right? And then I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. You can read it. I go through some more analysis. He experiences some different emotions here. He gets slightly uncomfortable. And I want you to see how I ended this little note-taking session. Now the scene ends on this negative emotion, irritation, yet not without curiosity and anxiety. Things for Montag are definitely uncertain. You get the sense that the way he has always seen the world is about to change. So the scene begins on a super high positive, and it ends on this like weird wavy uncertainty, and it ends kind of on a negative with him starting to question why he's even happy. Okay, so that's kind of how you do it. I want to leave you with a thought. A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only once. You think about that. All right, good luck reading.